I thought at our age, life would slow down.
Not with everything we need to coordinate.
My overtime, his basketball league,
My podiatrist and her PT.
his colonoscopy.
Her allergist.
We need to be in 2 places at once, which is no problem, because the Iowa Clinic has over 40 specialties, all in one place. So when our doctors want to coordinate our care, they just talk to each other.
Our doctors work together to figure out the best care for us, so we can go back to our busy lives, juggling our doctors, our careers.
Our grandchild.
Care how you want it. Visit iowaclinic.com.
All right, hello, welcome to pregame. Yes, I'm sitting here on my couch. I know it's not very professional, but deal with it tonight. I'm on like day 4 of 1-on-2 parenting. What in the middle of Big 12 season, we're going to deal with it. There may be a 3-year-old walking in here and getting all up in your face during this, but I think y'all can handle it.
It'll be the best analysis coming from your house in weeks.
This is the truth. This is the truth. Cammy's Corner, the new podcast from Iowa Everywhere, will be live here in like a week. So
goodness.
It's going to be epic.
I imagine there'll be some great takes on there. Yeah,
that's
awesome.
I told her if she wanted to do it, it's great, but she had to get a notebook out and write down topics she wants to discuss, write down guests she wants to have on. Maybe you'll get asked to be a guest at some point, Jared.
Let her get it out now so that then she doesn't actually want to do this for a career and ruin her life.
I'm not letting her go into journalism.
Yeah, let her get it out now. Get the creativity out now.
She thinks she's going to be like a YouTube influencer, I think.
Oh, boy. I think that's what a lot of kids now think they're going to be, actually.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
What a life to aspire to.
I'm sitting here on this couch because of the TV situation. I ended up getting the Sling TV installed on this upstairs television so that I could get the Longhorn Network. So a lot of you are probably, if you're watching this, I'm going to try and help you out right now, because when y'all start tweeting at me in 22 minutes, I'm not going to answer because you've had all day to figure this out. It's a pain in the ass, I know. If you think you're going to get on ESPN Plus and watch the game, it will not work. Jared told me that earlier today, and I was like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. So then I actually made a call up to communications at Iowa State because I just wanted to confirm, like, how in the heck, because I knew all of you people would be asking us how to watch the game at 8 o'clock tonight. So some options. The best one I can tell you, if you don't have like Dish Network, so I always had Dish Network in the past, so it was never a thing. And that's, I know how you're watching tonight, Jared, because you know your mom and dad have Dish Network and whatever. So I shit canned Dish Network like years ago, and I ended up just downloading, and I got a subscription to Sling TV for tonight, and then I will cancel it. The Sling TV.
Don't forget, they're in charge of $50.
I'm already out $31 because they only give you.
Do you remember the pay-per-view games back in the day? The pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, Nebraska and Oklahoma always got those because of their crazy-ass fan bases when back in the Big 12 days.
You get Nebraska Rice for $49.99 on DirecTV.
That's how I view this, because I buy UFC fights not every month, but about every other. I'll buy the pay-per-view. And those can be like $80 on a big card.
Right.
So like to watch Iowa State and Texas, it's worth $30 to me. So again, that's like my advice. If you want to do this, I have this whole text chain of buddies of mine who are all trying to finagle ways. I'm sure there's illegal streams out there. I cannot endorse those because I could get sued. But
also, and then as a media company, it's hard to endorse stealing things from other media
I will not do that. I guess DirecTV Stream has a trial. Some people are telling me. So those are a couple of options, I guess. Do you have there's really no other way, right, that you've come up with?
No. The Longhorns, man. The gift that just keeps on giving. Like, this is just incredible that this is still a thing in 2023. Why would we give this to them?
I don't know, but I was laughing because I'm on this.
What do you think's harder to get? What do you think will be harder to get? The Longhorn Network tonight or Pac-12 football on Apple Plus?
So that's what I was just going to say. I was dying because I get on this Sling TV tonight for the first time. I just got it.
I already know what
And
you're gonna say. Yeah.
the first thing that pops up is the Pac-12 network and the Longhorn Network. It's like, well, no wonder Sling sucks and nobody's on it. Like, oh, there's the Pac-12 network. I've just missed Sling this whole time. That's it.
Like even Hulu, Disney's own streaming company, doesn't carry the Longhorn Network. If that's as good of an indication of how many shits anybody gives about the Longhorn Network at this point, like, and the Pac-12 network, it just that. What are the odds, dude? That's just there's this one place that they're like, yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take you over at Sling.
And think
Hell
how
yeah.
much money a year they make on that. Like, their Sling makes a ton of money on people who sign up for these things and doesn't cancel.
How many Iowa State fans are paying $31 tonight?
Yes,
for this
exactly.
stupid game.
You guys made Sling's year. Congratulations. Then we're gonna have to deal with this shit again next year.
One of the Iowa State sources I talked to gave me a fingers crossed that this would be the last game ever for Iowa State and Texas on the Longhorn Network. Do you remember way back in the day, like in the Hoiberg years, when it was legit, like the only way you could watch it is if you had Dish Network and everybody was stealing it?
Yeah. Well, and there you went to a bar. I remember going to some bars at some different. Remember even when that football game 2019 was on?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was like a big game too.
There was a couple times they played. Didn't Sage and Brent simulcast one year?
Yeah, they did. They sent our guys down there, and then Cyclones TV had that whole blow up because they weren't ready for like the server thing. You remember that?
Yes.
And it was just
it was a great game too, wasn't it? It came down to like the final possession. Yeah.
I want to say, yeah, wasn't that 17 the Kempt year? Like I think it was really
this is a chapter of the book. Every game that Iowa State played on the Longhorn Network and what the rating was.
I put out a tweet earlier. I'm not smart enough to pull it up, but I said I tweeted this at 6:23. Just watch. There is going to be mass chaos on Cyclone Twitter at 8 p.m. This will be extra wild because people are expecting ESPN Plus to work, and it's not.
Our servers are probably going to crash.
Oh my! And that's on Twitter. Just imagine what the old Facebook crowd is, where your demographic goes up a generation.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying.
They're going to lose their goddamn minds here in 14 minutes.
And it's going to be the people who just are like haven't thought about it the entire day and just assumed that it was on TV. And then all of a sudden they're all going to go to cyclonefanatic.com at the same time and be like, how do I watch this game? And everyone is going to just flood. It's like the one place to go. And even we're like, yeah, we don't really have an answer for you.
I wouldn't have known if I hadn't called you. I had that work question for you at like 3:00 today. And you asked me, how are you going to watch the game? I'm like, I got ESPN Plus. I'm just going to pull it up. Nope.
Anyways. All right, let's talk about the game, though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's two ways to look at it. I think the expectation by most Iowa State fans is that you lose tonight, and it may not be that close. However, Iowa State's the only team in the Big 12 that hasn't lost a game on the road by double digits. So, like, these games have all been close this year. This team generally just plays close basketball games. Caleb Grill is out via the reporting on the scene from Travis Hines I just saw. You could talk me into – I could – being the talk radio guy that I am, I could argue either way, that Iowa State gets run out of the gym tonight, or no, this will be closer than you think. Play the 7.5 points. What do you think?
Yeah, I probably lean towards getting run out of the gym. I mean, it just feels like a bad mix for Iowa State in this game, especially when you consider it was a heated game in Ames and there was a lot going on, So you already know that if they get an opportunity to feel like they can really put their foot down and dig in on something, they're probably going to try and do it. With Tyrese too, like that just is going to be an added element. This is going to be a fiery game, and
probably
Texas
a good thing
just has a really good team. Yeah, I think it is probably good that Grill's not playing, but Texas just has a really good team too. Like, and the odds that you're going to hold them down the way that Iowa State did that first time are just very slim, because we've seen that prove out now. I mean, they're number one in the league for a reason, tied for number one in the league, and in position to potentially win the league, for a reason. And Iowa State has done as well against them as anybody else in the league to this point, but replicating that, I think, will be very tough.
It's been I've been really impressed with Texas, the way that everything that they've gone through, the way that remaining coaching staff has been able to keep the team focused, and the guys have fought all that. Honestly, it's really impressive. I mean, it's really impressive that they've been able to do that. Another Big 12 note, I mean, and you referenced this week in your power rankings, but it's like Kansas. It's like, my God, like,
I think they could win the national championship again.
I think they can now. I didn't think that 2 weeks ago.
Their front court's gotten so much better during the year. Like KJ Adams, and then what's his name? Udefe or something like that, or Uday, or whatever it is. The guy that bring off the bench. Good. No, they were not very good at the beginning of the year, but those guys have been playing awesome. And I mean, they are so similar to last year's team. I think from like a technical standpoint, they're not quite to the level that last year's team was, like just from how they play together. But from a talent standpoint, and like they're right there. I mean, I think that's the best team in the country right now from what I've seen.
The road wins the last 2 weeks at Oklahoma State and TCU were just
impressive,
real eye openers for me.
Yeah,
the Oklahoma State one, and I know they're struggling now, but the toughness that Kansas showed in that one was just awesome. Like some guys were kidding around with me on Twitter that I say it every year, but I do feel like this is one of Self's best coaching jobs.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Leif about this a couple weeks ago. Like after they came to Hilton, man, I don't think I'll hear any more Bill Self slander from anybody. I know that there's people who want to talk about the cheating and things like that, but man, his best teams have been when he hasn't had a lot of the extracurricular things, where they get the one and dones and all that kind of stuff. It's the guys that came in and built into the program or bought into the program and really developed. And Jalen Wilson, Ochai Agbaji, like a couple guys that were, more lightly recruited that ended up being All-Americans, National Player of the Year type guys. And that's just, he is as smart of a basketball mind as I think there is on the planet right now, whether it's professional, college. He has been for a long time, but I think now, especially with like Coach K and some of those guys out of the game, I mean, he is the best coach in college basketball, and it is not even close.
The second best coach in college basketball, currently trailing right now at Kansas State.
Jerome Tang's winning. What do you mean?
And hats off to Kansas State too. Everybody had them left for dead.
Yeah.
A week ago, and then they're gonna 2 home wins, but they're gonna beat Iowa State, and they're convinced that they're beating the crap out of Baylor right now. I mean, they're about to go up 14 with
Scott Drew has just been sick this entire second half of this game. Every time I look over, he's sitting on the bench just like this. Like he's just out. He doesn't know what to do right now.
I like it though for your gambling odds if you like Baylor, because you're going to get a better price on them with a little bit of a slide here. I feel like any of these Big 12 teams though wouldn't shock me if any of them made a really deep run. I mean, even Iowa State to that matter.
I mean, to hear you guys say, was that on your podcast with Hassel or with Bloom, where you guys were talking about how Iowa State and TCU both have 7-1 odds to go to the Final Four? Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. Those are the TCU has played at times like the 8th best team in the league, with injuries and everything like that. Like, but you still sit there and you're like, you know what? It wouldn't shock me at all if TCU was in the Final Four.
Well, we just got a question. It has begun. Skylar wants to know how to watch the game. All right, I'm going to explain this one more time.
Well, I was going to say, or we could sign off and Skylar can go back to the beginning.
Brad says, and it begins. Okay, we'll do it. Different audience.
Yeah, download Sling.
Download Sling. You're probably going to have to pay like $30 for it. The best way I can tell you to do it. I've searched. I don't think there's a better way. And that's what I did. I'm sitting here watching some shitty Texas baseball game when I decided I didn't want to watch the Pac-12 network anymore.
Can you get any other ESPN channels? Or is it literally only the Pac-12 network and the Longhorn Network? That'd be so
I get
funny.
MLB Network. Oh, and of course, MLB Network's playing Game 7 of the 1991 World Series, the Kirby Puckett game against my Atlanta Braves.
That's what the Pac-12 network is playing?
MLB Network's playing.
Oh, okay.
Let me see what our friends over at the Pac-12. We got the ACC Network.
Jeez.
Of course we have that. I got the NHL Network. Right now we're watching.
Do you get any other channels besides the just
Notre
random
Dame
leagues?
Stanford football. We're watching a replay of Notre Dame Stanford football on the Pac-12 Network. We got a soccer channel here. We got a bunch of Spanish soccer. Looks like Bewitched is on. You ever see that show?
Yeah, I have. 6 p.m. on the west, almost 6 p.m. on the West Coast. God forbid we have a basketball game on the Pac-12 network tonight.
No, I'm getting all the It looks like I get all the ESPNs.
Okay, that's good. Well, for your 7 days free, you can get all the money out of it that you need.
Yeah, we got Texas baseball currently leads Texas A&M Corpus Christi 11-2. Looks like we're in the bottom of the 8th. What if they would? This game is live too. What if they would delay?
Will they push back tip?
What if they would delay They would join it with 10 minutes to go in the first.
This game somehow goes to extras.
Keith says if you have DirecTV, you can buy the sports pack. See, the problem is so many people have cut the cord that they don't have these legacy media subscriptions anymore. So, anyways.
What if Corpus Christi makes a comeback and this game goes to extras?
Do they play 9 innings in a game like this? I thought that college only played 7 for some reason.
There's a 10-run rule, but you said they're not up by 10 runs.
They're up now. They are 12-2.
Game?
No, they're still at bat. Texas is still at bat.
Jeez.
Says up next. We just got an update. Iowa State, Texas coming up next. If we have to join in progress, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's not gonna be healthy.
There's gonna be at least 3 pitching changes in the top of the 9th for Texas.
The freaking Longhorn. I am so ready for Texas to be out of this league.
Who wins Texas Oklahoma tonight? Texas Tech Oklahoma tonight, I mean.
Texas Tech.
In Norman?
Yeah. Oklahoma's down that one guy.
Yeah, that's true. Bro, he averaged 3 points a game.
Against Iowa State, he looked like Dirk Nowitzki.
That's you sounded just like Connor right there, because the one time that guy played really well that you saw him, the one time you saw him,
I don't want any piece of that guy.
Yeah, you never want to see that guy ever again. You know that he is a dog.
God, he
plays unreal. 10 minutes a game.
He was unbelievable in that game.
He was huge for them. And he's actually killed Iowa State twice, I think, when they played in Norman. Man.
All right. Well,
bro, who's going to buy the Longhorn Network? Nobody obsessed angling TV. That's the point. Nobody.
I have Sling and we'll just listen to Eric. I'm not buying the sports pack, says Agent Pearl. I mean, man.
Who can blame anybody for choosing to listen to The Godfather and the legendary Eric Taft?
No, not me. It's just, we kind of got to watch these games.
Yeah, kind of got to be able to see. No, I would love to listen to The Godfather and feel like I got everything out of it, but that is not going to be the case.
Oh, come on. They just walked a guy.
Oh,
unbelievable.
All right, let's sign off on this.
Cyclones lose tonight by single digits. I don't think you'll ever feel like Iowa State's going to win, but I think they'll keep it close.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Right there in that range where it's you're doing the mental math in your brain until there's 4 minutes left, and then all of a sudden you realize, yeah, there's no way this is going to happen.
We're on the same page.
All
right. Enjoy the game, everybody. And please don't ask us what channel it's on. Thanks. Have a good night.